All right, so we're back on board the Tideline 365, doing a little bit more of an in-depth, more technical walkthrough of the Tideline 365. And Pete here obviously is the owner of this particular Tideline and has had it for a few months now, had a lot of experience, used to be in the boat building business, in the monohull side, but he finally came to the dark side, you know. Once you go cat, you'll never go back.
That's it.
Just kidding. So first, just what was the reason why you decided on a Tideline out of all the other brands that were really kind of out there?
What really brought me over was you can't dispute the amount of room that a cat has. You can't dispute the amount of fishability that they have. You can't dispute the amount of functionality that they have. 36-foot boat gives you room equivalent of a 40, 45 foot. Your deck space is just carried all the way through from stern all the way up to bow, which you don't see in a V-hull boat. The fuel efficiency would be the next thing. I mean, who wants to spend a bunch of money on fuel? You run this boat comfortably and it sips fuel.
You get the benefit of that, obviously being a catamaran, but also with your choice of engine. So let's talk about the engines. Let's start at the back and kind of work our way forward. So you designed this boat. So obviously Tideline builds custom boats. They're all build to spec, build to order. Pete here had every option that he wanted and he put it into this particular boat, which has some unique options we'll talk about there at the helm as well. But you chose the twin 425 out of all the other Suzukis and everything else that's out there, and or going quad. So for you, why the Mercury 425?
Same thing, like I said, you know, I've run all different motors, Suzuki's, Yamahas, Mercury's. They all have good and bad models, let's face it, you know what I mean? This model of Mercury I thought was going to be an awesome setup for this boat, and it turned out it was. This is actually the first 365 that has the new 425s on it. As far as a power package of twins, this thing is, you can't beat it. I mean, it's your most fuel efficient package that you'll probably get.
35 miles an hour, doing 1.5 nautical miles per gallon, correct?
Yeah, it's a true 1.5 gallon boat, which is rare. I mean, there's plenty, you know, you can get 1.5 miles on an empty tank with 2 people on board and running down sea, that's fine. But in real world scenario, this boat actually is 1.5 miles a gallon in sea conditions with full 480 gallons of fuel and 6 people on board.
So let's make mention of that. So it's got 2 240 gallon tanks, so 480 gallons total. So obviously really set up for a true offshore cruising, so you can get you out there, get you back with reserves as well. Another thing to keep in mind too, in today's world, we're hearing a lot of the insurance guys are getting a lot more expensive with the quad. So having a boat that may not have the top end, but who runs wide open throttle all day anyways, has the top end benefit of the quads over the twins, but you have the savings of the insurance quote as well. So
insurance, maintenance, extra motors are extra money, extra downtime,
extra weight. Yeah,
extra weight. It's great when if you want to race, but we're here to fish. We're here to hit the sandbar with family, so it's a little different setup for us.
Let's move a little forward here. We got obviously the swim platform there that's normal in the Tideline. All the Tidelines will come with this generally to separate the two areas there when not in use and when you're fishing, so you have something to kind of lean against. Obviously the fishing rod holders here and live wells, 2 45 gallon live wells. Anything else that you did kind of custom back here?
No, my use, you know, I like simple. Simple is more to me, so I didn't go crazy. I kept all the usable features, and the boat actually, the way it's set up is basically the way that Tideline build sheet is set up. So, you know, there aren't a ton of what I'll call the crazy features. You don't have stuff that slides and moves and parts and pieces that'll break on you when you start going through rough seas. So the way you see the boat is the way that they like to put it, and I've been happy with it.
Really easy access. It's kind of a no-frills boat in that regard, as far as having direct access to your fuel filters and all that as well. Of course, as we get down here in the hatches, since we're kind of making our way forward, you can kind of see how in this particular hatch, it's got one seacock there in the entire boat. Ever have water taken on, that's where you would go, open it up, and it's right there in front of you, really easy. Mentioning something other about your pumps.
Yeah, so they rig their boat with a sea chest, which is pretty common in the industry now. The way that they rig this one, I've got 2 pumps hooked up and I've got a third basically backup pump. So if I do have a pump go down, all I need to do is shut a valve, loosen up a hose clamp, jump that over, and I've got a redundant system there. So you don't end up losing a full tank of bait. You know, after you've spent all that time and money to run out fishing, you have a pump clog or go down on you, you're not done for the day, which is nice. They also rig both bilge pumps, but they also do a low water bilge, which is nice. So you have diaphragm pumps that will take you down right to basically nothing, so you can run a dry bilge. A lot of bilge access. That's a 3 kW transducer. There's plenty of room for it. That's about as big as you would normally go on a 36. So their layout is great. Their fit and finish inside the bilge and outside is awesome.
So in this case, We've also got here on the Helm chair. Now this is the general layout that Tideline kind of does here. This is their standard kind of top as well with all their rod holders. Of course, the Tideline is a brand. Pete here could do it any way that he wanted to. He chose this particular route. They've got insulated coolers on both sides. Some of the owners have opted for more of a stand here with some tackle, and then along with that, like a sink on top as well. So up to you, but I do love the color choices. Nice work.
Thank you.
Yeah. All of this framework is all done. Of course, they do offer the option as well where you can do a tower. They make a tower, or if you want to do a custom tower or a custom top, able to do that and customize that all with Tideline.
Speaking of the tower, there's a reason why we didn't do it. 36-foot boat, it's a big boat, still very trailerable. I don't want to have to deal with taking a trailer down. I do like to go to the Bahamas. We are on the west coast of Florida. I can put this boat on a tri-axle trailer that comes right from Tideline, be in the east coast in 3 hours. So it's pretty nice setup. You know, outriggers come down, antennas lay flat, 4 bolts takes the open array radar off, and we're under our 13 foot.
You mentioned that's a good point. I have heard some owners, that's kind of one of the issues is with height, because it is a big 36 and it's on a triple axle trailer, but ultimately if you do have anything up top there, then you really get that height, and so you have to be really careful. So yeah, that's definitely a good decision there as well. We've also got inside on both sides. Now these, I can show you how big they are. These can go all the way down to one side. That'll kind of give you an idea of how depth these particular wells are. And how do you have these wells draining?
They've got built-in drains. You know, they also have the molded in areas for 2 buckets. So I've got the Yeti buckets in there, a nice amount of storage. So you can seal them up. They can be completely dry, or they will hold some water if you want.
Cool thing is, do you have fresh water on one side and salt water on the other?
Yeah, we have both fresh and salt water on this boat. It does have a head. We made sure we had fresh water as well.
This side of the boat, we've got a wash down here. We got 1 forward, which will show 2 forward and 2 aft. In this case, this particular one, what do you got? Fresh water on this side?
Yeah, I believe. I'd actually have to check.
You want to know how I know? Because I didn't know if one was fresh water, one was salt water, and I was rinsing off the engines the other day, and I was like, somebody told me it was salt water. I was like, well, at least I grabbed the right one. 50-50, or I'd have been doing nothing. Yep. And of course, you got power as well down there for the drop reels. Got the tackle here. This is what he chose. Of course, these are all customizable layouts that you can do.
Haven't actually loaded it yet. We're getting there.
Well, let's come up here in the Helm a little bit. I'm going to come on around.
Yeah.
So obviously in your scenario, you chose Simrad. I mean, you're looking at the 2 big, 24s?
Yeah, we were able to fit 24-inch Simrads in here. I chose a center helm. I like a center helm better, but you can get a left helm. I'm not sure about a right, but I know you can get a left. Dual VHFs up top, so everything's right at your fingertips. It's comfortable. It's not overcrowded. You know, I do like the larger screens. We did put a night vision camera on here as well. It's nice to be able to split a screen, see a radar overlay, night vision, sounder. You can kind of have everything with sizable display.
And if you look down at Pete's foot down here, it's actually on its own entire little step up. That's the one step up in the boat. So that gives you really good look over the console, gives everybody a good look over the console. It also gives us a little bit more headroom in the console itself because it actually lifts this up. You did something pretty unique. You mentioned to me earlier, you decided in this day and world with no bow thruster, but twins under a power cat, you decided not to put a joystick in.
I did. I guess I'm a little old school, I'll say. I've been running a boat my entire life.
Yeah.
When you have a cat with this setup, with these motors spaced this far apart, you truly don't need it. Some people are more comfortable with it, and that's great. Obviously, the engine manufacturers would probably prefer you to have it, but I enjoy not having it. The boat can spin around all day long in its own circle, so it's very easy to dock, very easy to maneuver. It tracks in reverse, nice and straight. It's not pulling or throwing you side to side, so it's been very stable, very easy around the dock.
Yeah, so all this is customizable through Tideline. On top of that, here's a little bit more of the upper. This is actually the newer one, so it's got the 2 radios up top, speakers and everything kind of built in. That is the standard kind of Tideline top there for us as well. So you've got some more tackle places back here.
You know, they do a nice job at loading the battery switches up in this compartment. In here, you've got some storage. You know, we like to keep some stuff that's easy accessible at the helm. Your controls are right in front of you here. Kill switches, start buttons. So your radio, your wet sound system, everything's right at your fingertips.
So he also has the wings here. Have you ever really needed to use them?
You know what? It was 36 degrees last week in Florida.
So there you go.
It is nice to be able to throw up a couple curtains and still run the boat and not take that wind, you know? The boat's dry.
So let's talk about that. Yeah, no, that's a good point. So maybe these are actually for air temperature from not freezing and not necessarily getting wet. So we talked about this earlier. So the Tideline really has a North Carolina built boat. So it has that North Carolina flair that everybody kind of refers to. And then on top of that, the spray rails on this come pretty far back on the hull, and they're very thick in that regard. boats. Based upon that, the goal of that is actually to throw the water basically back down and not out. So even if the wind is really bad, it's still not going to blow back up at you as much. What has been your experience so far with, I mean, you don't have to lie to me. I know everybody gets wet at some point, but how has that been so far?
I'd love to say that I'm paid for this, but I'm not. You know what I mean? So this is as honest as you can get. The Carolina design is inherently for rough water, right? There's flare. There's reasons for that. It's to keep you dry. It's to push water down. You come out of Oregon, you come out of Hatteras, you can take waves over the bow real easy in those inlets. You know, guys are blowing windshields out of boats. That's why every big sporty and every design up there has that flare. Yeah, we are in Florida, but those same benefits help you here just as well.
Maybe not to be as often, but you're still going to have it. Yeah,
no, for sure. I mean, the Gulf is a little bit calmer, let's say, than the East Coast, but you getting 4 to 6 foot, I don't care where you are, it's nice to have flare. Nobody wants spray nailing over the bow the entire ride. You know, you want to stay dry. So this boat will keep you dry. Those spray rails add to that. They push the water down, just like you said. So
yeah, very cool. And so let's talk about a little bit about the bow rise. You know, some of these cats are pretty known that they do have quite a bit of bow rise at the beginning until they actually get on plane. So the Tideline has little to no bow rise. Is that a fair statement? What have you seen?
It's got basically 0 bow rise, which a lot of people have claimed, and I've yet to see it. This boat truly has, if I had to put a number to it, maybe 3 to 5 inches of bow rise. A lot of boats are designed where kind of like you need to be 6 foot to be comfortable in them. Unfortunately, I'm not. I'm 5'8" on a good day. So having the raised helm with 0 bow rise, I don't have to worry about what's in front of me. I can see it the entire time.
I mean, this thing literally, I mean, you give it just a little bit of power, literally almost feels like it almost goes like vertical, and then you're on plane. So some of the numbers that we're seeing, you said 12, I'll say 13, somewhere in that neighborhood, 13 miles an hour, you're on plane, it's a matter of probably 5 seconds. The boat literally lifts up out of the water.
Until you actually get on the boat, it's almost hard to believe it. It's very different from what I'm used to on a boat. Normally you will plow and then you climb up and get on plane.
Right.
This boat just lifts you right up on plane. Very soft, low RPM. The motors don't have to strain at all to get this boat up on plane. I mean, it jumps up before you even expect it to be there. You're already at 17, 18 miles an hour.
Anything else in the cockpit that we missed?
No, I mean, just the layout in general. It's, you know, if you want to fish, if you want to entertain, it's got the best of both worlds. You've got plenty of room all the way around.
So the new Tideline 365s has the option into the console to have a door on one or both sides as well. This particular boat, he opted in for one of the upgrades, which is actually have a potable head. As we move forward up here, you'll see more rod holders everywhere. I mean, it's a true fishing boat. If you'll notice, we'll come over here first. So obviously you're running all your Simrad stuff, and this particular chair is actually kind of more of the normal chair. I know some guys had opted to have this a little wider, but then you lose all of this cup holder space, which is very important, and along with rod space. But I do like how this is lower than this, so that way it doesn't allow you to kind of slip down when you're underway. It keeps you up into the chair and stuff. So let's take a look inside here too. Obviously insulated, drainable.
Yeah, it's got
or storage.
Plenty of room. You know, if we're going offshore, a lot of times we'll load this with ice. We'll put ice on fish once they're in the fish boxes. They do mold in slots for dividers, which is nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So if you do want to section this up for some storage, you have that option. They have gas, you know, stainless gas shocks on everything, so this is not going anywhere. So they do a good job with that.
So let's talk about these fish boxes. These boxes are a little eye deceiving.
They really are.
This box, people like get big fish. So in this box, you can get up to a 7
And if we don't, we lie about it.
Yeah, right. It's over
it.
Here, but it's in the 7 foot 2 foot box, right? No. 7 foot 2 inches. So almost out to here is where that box goes. And just for reference, I'll kind of show you with this, that thing is going all the way back right there. So that's how much more depth that box goes in that regard. So definitely have a lot of room, whether it's like for this, for storage, and or for the fish we all want to catch, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna swordfish, you know, that's something we like to do. You're gonna deep drop swordfish, daytime swordfish, you know, you actually do have room to put, you know, 150, 200 pound sword in the box. You may have to take the bill, but it'll fit, you know.
And while we're here, if you want to walk back over there real quick, I want to show this. So obviously here, you're at the gunnel, you've got room for your feet, your toes, right? So you're really locked in this regard. It's exactly the same thing even up here. You have room to put your feet in. So I've really noticed that a lot of guys really like that feature because you can still kind of lock in even though you're up here, you know, on the bow.
Yeah, you do like to be stable if you're going to throw a net, bait fish. I like this area for that reason. It's also a great spot if you are at a sandbar or something and you have a couple bean bags up there. It's a great spot for people to hang out. So it's comfy and functional.
And up here as well, got a lot of either storage there, and then of course we've got the trolling motor battery down here.
Yeah, and that was all rigged at the factory. Told them that I was going to put a trolling motor on this, so they rigged it with triple lithium-ion batteries, its own dedicated lithium charger, so they did a really nice job there. I also had them add a C-swivel on this, so it was about as simple as you can get to do my trolling motor install.
What motor did you decide on?
I have a Rodan, actually.
Rodan?
Yeah, we went with the large Rodan. It's been good to us so far.
Obviously, he's doing manual anchor, not doing anything right this second. But then we've got more bow storage up here.
Yeah, right now we've got, I think I've got 18 life jackets stuck in there right now, so there's quite a bit of room.
I like how they did do your company logo as well. That's
yeah,
nice.
we
nice
added
touch.
a couple.
All right, so the one thing else that I kind of want to make mention is I want to talk about this dead rise here. So what's unique on the Carolina flare, obviously once we have the drone up, we'll show you some shots to show you the actual flare of the bow itself. But if you look here, that's the traditional Carolina side. So a lot of people I've heard say, oh, well, it's lower back here. It's hard to really kind of like lock in down here. I'm 6'2", it's up to my knees. The idea still though with the dry ride to have more of that dead rise in the vessel. So
yeah, your gunnels are plenty high enough. Even if you're in a rough sea, if you're fishing back here, you're very secure. I've been in boats with low gunnels, you know, where you get a little nervous when it comes time and you're fighting a fish and you're bellied up to the gunnel. You got to worry about actually going over. This is high enough. You're very secure here.
So one of the things that's unique on the Tideline is these spray rails down here. You can kind of notice how far they come back, but then they're also designed to basically shoot the water almost straight back down. The idea is the wind can't catch into spray. A lot of the guys will shoot that outward. The wind can still catch it and still get you pretty wet, but you can see how thick that is. That is kind of a classic North Carolina part of the build as well. All right, so one of the last things we want to talk about is obviously the most important, how much beer we can keep on board. The second part is, what about the sound system? The sound system here, he used basically their standard spec, which is the wet sound system. Comes with right around 10 speakers plus some subs.
You don't need anything more than that. You can turn this thing up and everybody will hear you coming.
Very cool. So David Huffman again here with the Yacht Brokers. Thanks for kind of doing our little walkthrough. Thank you, Pete, for doing the walkthrough with me. I'm not expecting that today, but you know, Pete's very knowledgeable about this boat and boats as a whole, so it kind of worked its way out this way. If you're considering buying a Tideline, you can reach out to us here at the Yacht Brokers. We're happy to help walk you through that process, and if you need some help on wanting to get on an actual sea trial on a Tideline 365, we could probably arrange that as well. Thanks for joining in. Definitely consider a Tideline 365.